doubt about that. I've been a really big fan of Phobos on Shaker and Puck. Those are like the two heroes that I look to, and I think that those are like, those are his best. So not surprised to see Empire ban it out. Plus, given the heroes that Empire have right now, Shaker is way too disruptive to give away. They already have multiple disables. You got Curse, you got Rubik Lift, you got a Core Lina. You can't really give away too many disables when you have heroes like Undying who really want to try to force the engagement, because if you're able to just disengage and walk away every single time, and speaking of walking away, I mean, having a hero like Centaur on your team allows you to reposition. That pick is actually so good.
So good against the Undying.
That is actually like an amazing
So good against
pick.
the Gyro, so good against the TA with the slow from the traps. Centaur Warrener really fits the bill. And as you said, potentially screwing up what Empire are going to go into this game with intentions to do so. I mean, Empire now with this final pick, they still need their offlaner. What do you pick up against a lineup that now has a Centaur Warrener backing it?
You need something that has like hard lockdown. I think Clock is okay.
5 seconds
like
remaining.
sure, it's kind of annoying to play against Rubik, but you need something that can actually hold you in place. Or you need something that's going to be able to add more to the push. I think those are the two best choices right now. Yeah, Clock is alright. It's not amazing, but I wonder what it's going to be here from Empire.
Trying to think of just other options. I mean, a lot of solo offlaning heroes have been banned out.
Oh. Alright.
Nice!
That's some lockdown.
That's a Magnus! We've got a game on our hands, and I'm feeling hopeful about this one. And game 2 was a bit of a farm. This kind of resident.
This is going to be fighting.
This is it. This is VP. This is the VP versus Empire that I was hoping for. They're giving it.
It's the idea now. It's no longer I want to hit as many creeps as possible. It's I want to slay as much as possible, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. I mean, we got a chance to watch the Magnus the other day, and Yoku was an absolute monster. I think he hit multiple 4-man RPs in the same game. Like that's just disgusting. So definitely looking forward to that. Look at this man
go. He's just sliding into lane here. Doesn't even need to move his legs here. Yoku down to the bottom. Look at it. Look at him go.
What is wrong with him?
He's just swagging down to lane. Look at the swag this man's rocking. It's incredible, but there we go. He started to use his legs. There's only so much swag man like Yoku can handle him. We're into the game. This one, quite something. The deciding match here between the two teams, Virtus Pro and Empire. The true CIS showdown. I mean, if anything, it's kind of, just kind of banter rights, kind of the bragging rights are going to come from this, because these teams, I'm sure there's not a huge rivalry. I'm very friendly with each other.
I mean, everyone in Dota is actually pretty friendly with each other.
Exactly, even you, Andy.
What do you mean, even me?
Well,
what is that, just like shots fired for a reason?
I just wanted to fire a shot. But indeed, we're into the game, and let's see how this one goes down. Yoku Magnus, as you said, the last time we saw it, he did come out with game-winning plays at the very end. There was some incredible RPs. I believe it was an incredible refresher RP as well. He managed to get them in the mid lane in the base, managed to get the top lane as well, and the game was over. So, VP, then we'll look out for Yoku, and we've got to remember as well, in game 2, Virtus Pro did ban out the Yoku Magnus, so they are aware of what it can do.
I'm definitely looking to see him do big things this game. And given the lane that he's in right now, he's up against a Rubik and a Lina. It's pretty annoying, but I think he should be able to manage the highest matchup lane, and plus he also brought a ton of regen. And then you have that mid matchup. It's going to be the standard 2v2 here. Resolution. Okay, that's actually a double uphill miss. Gee, it's so sad right now. He does get 1 or 2 resolution. It's very good to get that value damage going.
I mean, this is a kind of interesting. That's something that we see all the time having. Well, we do see the joinings. The fact that it's an Undying, the TA. I mean, why put the Undying here in this mid lane? Kind of say over the Dazzle. My Dazzle needs to be top.
Oh god, he skewered away and didn't manage to make that. Alright, so he actually. I'm actually really surprised he's died. With the hero level 1. Like, Illidan was level 1, Lil just hit level 2. There's actually, I think, very small chance that you should die in that lane, especially when both heroes, like, Rubik can only stun. He can't actually deal damage with a nuke, so he must have made a misplay.
And off the bat, the time to actually come down here on the Undying, just kind of make sure the same thing doesn't happen again here to Yoku. As you really do not want to be giving kills away. Illidan, Storm Rage, Lina. Mid lane, there's actually a bit of a rat round coming from FNG. He's got the Arctic Burn, and again, just using it to harass back Resolution. Resolution just standing there, taking it like a man. Always on the fly, looking for a bit of body block here onto Phobos, but Phobos just going to turn around with the Storms. He does have the heal, no shallow grave from Phobos. Going to give this a little bit of a rundown. Just exchanging hits between the two of them as this top lane. Obviously, always fight, buying space for Silent to get the farm needs on his gyrocopter.
It's pretty standard stuff around. I think the biggest thing to note, obviously, is this off-laner from Empire dying. Yoku getting caught a little bit out of position. Lil gonna have to run away from Aloha Dance and Yoku, but no real risk for him. I think level 1 skewer is not really dangerous, but the important thing to keep in mind is because of the fact that bottom doesn't need help, it also means that G is totally free to sit mid as long as he wants. Like, it doesn't really matter if G is not getting full experience, so long as he's still continually farming. Because at some point when it's fun, he'll be able to use those stacks that are being built in the jungle and accelerate his EXP. Like, he'll be able to hit 7, and once it happens, you're just gonna start seeing him take off and
yeah, and thanks to FNG as well, we can see in the mid lane, G trying to break away 6-4 against the 11th of 3 of Resolution. G certainly finding the start he needs on this SF to dominate the TA.
Once a TA hits 6, there's going to be some chance for Empire to potentially turn it around. But heroes aren't really the best for ganking. It's kind of one of the weaknesses of picking Dazzle and Undying together, as a heroic potential is fairly limited. So even though VP actually prioritized Shadow Fiend so much as to getting it as first pick, they're not really going to be able to deal with G in this middle lane unless the TA actually manages to find a solo kill. I seriously doubt will happen because every person who plays against TA just buys sentries when you hit 6, and if your traps aren't alive, you can't actually chase. Like, you need to be able to control the vision of that lane.
Top lane trying to close into focus here with the Rocket Barrage. Moving in, but again the Stomp catching Jara, holding him back towards the mid lane. Oh, dart. A quick soul rip. Not going to do too much against G, not a lot of units in the area. Yoku has been forced back to base and now making the long walk back out. He's just about to hit on to level 3. Phobos halfway through it, so the offlane going a little bit better here for VP. And as you said as well, the fact that it's is going to be susceptible to a bit of action once they hit 6. But at a similar time, you would expect Phobos to hit 6 on the Centaur, and a quick stampede is pretty much going to save G most of the time, because you look at hard disables, and Empire, they don't really have any.
It's pretty much just ag. Like, it's gonna have to wait for Yoku Blink Dagger to be able to do much of anything. Haster in here, picked up by FNG. I think he's not gonna go for the kill though. It's very deep. Okay. Is he gonna keep going? He was thinking about it.
Maybe thinking if he could see the courier. I mean, the courier? Surely they saw him
they're gonna
there.
send it back.
Do they not see him there? They,
it doesn't have, it has the bottle on it too!
The damn
the
He's
courier!
gonna fly after it! FNG, come back here! I'm gonna get you!
Oh, he stutter stepped. He didn't hit. Oh, okay.
He didn't drop it.
Oh, he's got more
look for it.
tangos. He's got more tangos. Okay.
Indeed, the tree, so he's fine. FNG's out of there. Was looking for the sneaky play. The two man.
Give me a freaking heart attack, man.
That was close. Damn.
If he lost the bottle, that would have been devastating. Like, that just would have been mid GG, more or less.
I'm talking about G still here with their heads 28-6, 21-6. Just catching up. Taking a few raises here to the face, and wanted back to base at the moment, so does need to be a little bit careful still. Hanging in the side, you've got a low hard dance, and always want to fly, in fact, coming towards the mid lane. So leaving Silent up against DK Phobos on his own, but Phobos still at level 4. No sight of that level 6 Stampede coming online yet, so Jara's pretty safe.
He's still doing a lot better than Goku right now, though.
Oh, okay.
I think that, like, that one death that puts him really far behind in lane, because normally you shouldn't die to this combination until like maybe like, I don't know, 2 or 3, when both of the heroes have their disables and Lena has that done going. Actually died immediately. Resolution here in mid.
Trying to go in indeed onto Resolution, moving back behind the tower. Tombstone's been hard dance, looking to force G and FNG back from their high ground. And indeed G and FNG respect that, and well, side blade to the face as well for G. As he keeps himself, also has been back out to him, so he's going to be alright. Phobos, finding himself always want to fly here. Gives him a quick slash with a double edge. And 6 minutes. Resolution was going to get Bounty Rune top, and it's going to be a regen rune bottom there, helping out Aloha Dance.
It's a little bit weird seeing, I mean, Aloha Dance is a very good Undying. He's actually one of the heroes I think he's known most for, but he's not really able to do a whole hell of a lot. We talked about players' inability to really rotate and force an issue. And I think when you have an Undying on your team, you kind of want to do that, right? Like, you want to make the enemy team try to react to you in some way. And I guess maybe during mid-game, you can drop a tombstone on a tower, try to siege it, something like that. Maybe that's Empire's game plan. But the whole roaming Undying thing, I've never really been sold on.
Is under attack.
I mean, we've got to remember there's always to be this point where Empire kind of hit this window where the ultimate comes online. for the Magnus. You've got the RP, you've got the Tombstone, you've got the cooldown. They've got a pretty impressive wombo combo, but at the same time, just with the cooldown, with the zombie, relies a lot on slows. And Centaur Stampede is the perfect counter to that. Mid lane position, trying to go in onto G. FG is there to scare him back off. But yeah, as we were saying in the draft, I really thought Phobos Warner was a fantastic pick from VP.
It's going to be so hard for Empire to take a real engagement before that Magnus gets Blink. The thing about Centaur, having Blink is nice, and it's very good to be able to initiate and then, you know, pop the Stampede after you've already thrown out the Blink and the War Stomp. But you can just pop Centaur at any given point, either chase somebody down or to make sure that you're going to be able to get a core out of a bad situation. Like, either one is perfectly acceptable, and you don't actually need money to do that. Whereas Yoku, he's going to need to find a way to get farm. So they're going to have this window of opportunity where VP are going to be able to utilize that Centaur ulti, and Yoku is still going to have to rely on farming. And this smoke from Empire, like, this is so ballsy.
Look how deep they are. I mean, G's kind of low. He has just got the ball look out. They'll look for the courier, and they're going to pop it.
Nice.
Courier down. Fortunately, G does have the bottle on him, so the courier was empty. Bottom lane looking towards Yoku. FNG coming in with the Arctic Burn slow. G realizing this isn't a killer that can join in on. Backs up. Dance Silent still in the jungle. It is level 7 on your Gyrocopter. And we talked about this before. This is the perfect time for Gyro to try and look for kills. 4-point Rocket Barrage has the call available. But this time, unfortunately, for Silent and Low, Hard Dart's not catching anything with the smoke. Other than the courier, though. It's a nice little kind of bounty prime.
It worked out. They took that pathing because they assumed at some point in the game, like, your Shadow Fiend, you're going to go farm steps, you know. It's very common to do that. So they're assuming, okay, we know that the Shadow Fiend is level 7. We saw him a minute ago or two, and he wasn't showing for a while. Check the camps just to make sure. And even drop a ward. So now you're going to have vision of the area.
G's ace, he's found himself a low hard dance here. He's looking to stack up the Ancient. This isn't going to happen. Sitting down to the ground there, picks the telekinesis, a few raises to the face. We'll find G the kill. And all in all, that reward placed down to keep an eye on these Ancients, paying off very nicely for VP.
Yeah, it's a really common award as well. It's very nice when the tower is still alive, because that way you can see teleport reactions. You see that TP from making it towards top lane. Just small stuff like that can make a very big difference. I realize that large camp is warded, and they will deward it. So G is on top of the game here. I'm a bit surprised they didn't actually just ward camp in a way that it would still spawn, but they'd have vision. Like, you know, the normal high ground. I think that would have been a nice place just so they can go for another one of those crazy smoke rotations into the woods.
I kind of like what they've done here as well with Yoke. Giving him the safety, so he's going to be able to have an easier time trying to work his way towards the Blink dagger. And this is, of course, during the fact that he's had to back up. He was able to clear out a few camps with his Rocket Barrage and does now have the Helm of Iron Will towards that Helm of Dominate. But all in all, nice for Yoku. Hitting 1k gold now, halfway towards that Blink dagger. If he wants to buy it straight up, we might see him just head into the side shop and look to put the Arcanes on the way.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he goes Arcanes. It's kind of one of those things where I think the Blink is more important than having Arcane because RP is so important for their team. They know that Phobos is already level 6 at least. Like, he's 7 now, but I'm not sure when the last time they've actually seen the hero. It's just a matter of, like, if we have the Blink initiation with RP, it guarantees that we can just go with Viper. He will go back for Arcane. And I think it's fine still. Like, Arcanes actually accelerate your farm because you can freely spam Shockwave. You don't have to serve your mana or anything like that. Once he gets Blink, that's going to be go time for Empire.
As the game progresses, in terms of siege between the SF and thanks to the camps that have been stacked up and made for G, he is now sitting at 96 against the 59 of Resolution. With this Ancient stack that was spotted out by VP, if he's able to clear it, that will certainly put him back in the clear and back on the level of G. And talking about G and the boys, they've hooked up there. And maybe they can see if they can find something to do. Because Venus hit level, she's got level 8, well and truly past the point with the Laguna Blade. Ready and waiting. We have yet to see Illidan really find an opportunity to use it. But Illidan, I mean, both of the carriers, we've seen from Silent as well, when he was moving around, looking for these rotations early on, thirsty. They realize the killing potential of their hero and they want to make the most of it.
Talked about, I don't really think these teams want to play another passive farming game. Like, sure, you walk away with the win, but I don't really think the style that they're most comfortable with. They played it well, but I think that both teams know each other very well, being able to team fight and such and control the map. That's kind of their go-to style, I think, most of the time. It could also just be like, too, the pressure is immense, right? Like, you're in a high situation, you might be doing things a little bit out of the ordinary for your particular team just because you feel like it's safer to play that way.
And thanks to his farm, I mean, we're 11 minutes in, coming up to 12. He has got the mech finish now as well. I mean, the question is whether the VP are actively looking to... I think they're kind of happy here with DK Phobos just continuing to farm. He's coming up to 1,500 gold towards that Ink Dagger. You know, he's farmed quite a bit as well. He's in level 8 here on the Rubik, and he has got 1,600 gold for his Blink as well, which is not bad at all for Rubik at this point of the game, 12 minutes in.
He's actually more farmed than the Mag. He's huge, actually. How did he get so much farm? I guess he's got 38 CS. He's been walking around, making things happen. FNG playing the hard business, I'm sure.
Under attack.
Certainly, as you said, compared to Magnus, he is still quite a little bit away from that Blink, but we haven't really seen him make any movements to this side of the map. So Yoku being very safe, has been able to clear a fair few waves. Phobos, I'm still working. I know 200 gold towards that.
Smoke here.
Okay.
This is actually a very easy Roshan for them.
With the lifesteal and with the meld strikes, they don't even need Dazzle to have a medallion at this point because of the scaling of Roshan. They just go for it. Yule Scepter has now been complete by Illidan, so we're going to see him have that stronger capability of looking for potential solo kill. He's actually jumping on FNG. They might scout this out, but at this point, I don't think there's anything you do to stop it. FNG moving in. He hasn't got level 6. No Winter's Curse available. Only just dropping down the zoning cooldown. No way that VP can get in range to contest. And Resolution here on the TA will be able to grab himself Aegis
under attack.
now. And he has got the mid for a half. Picked up 900 towards the second. And he's ready to the death. So looking for a bit of action to low hard dance, but always want to is there. Callagh Lil. Just putting pressure onto this mid tower. He would love to fire a tower, because any kind of tower gold. Push him over the edge, give him that Blink guy. I mean, we're going on about it. It's a ridiculous.
He's actually going to get it in like 15, 16 minutes. As support Rubik. I mean, this is pretty much playing it at a position 3. Like, he's taking a lot of farm priority. He's spamming waves and such. And they will be able to get fit for the defense. Instead, they will go for the tier 1 trade in the bot lane. I really want to point out the importance of Lil this game. How good it's going to be to have Blink Dagger at the same time to target Blink. So now VP have mass initiation, but the other idea for Empire is they're relying heavily on Yoku, right? So he goes in for an RP. The Rubik has Blink for your Blink. That means that every single team fight they're going to be a chance he can steal RP. You know how terrifying that is? Especially when they already have Centaur on. The positional advantage for VP in these team fights. It's going to be very difficult for Empire to fight around that.
There's no doubt about that too. And Yoku, well, wants to be careful here. There's going to be a stampede as they're trying to get Illidan out of this one.
Oh, Rubik stole call down.
Still get there. Oh, very nicely done. I mean,
Dire's top tower is under
attack. It's just the two of them here. Yoku's still with that RP available. Meanwhile, G just putting on the pressure on the top lane. Will find himself another tower here. As G now with the Yash, just 600 gold on top of his mech. And a bit of a reaction here coming from Empire as they head towards the top. G. I mean, he's very confident here. He has got a TP. And he will now start. No, he's going to stick around. Yoku's got an RP. The rest of Empire making their way up towards this top lane. And Phobos has got his Blink, of course. But yeah, as soon as the weave comes out, that's enough to spook them. And Phobos is out, and G, with the haste ring that he did in fact have bot, is going to be able to get himself nice and safely away from the side of Empire. And TA Resolution now has got his Deso complete, 15 minutes in. So even though he was, and he still is a little bit behind the Shadow Fiend, about 2,000 gold in it, still a relatively good timing here on the Desolator.
Yeah, he's not hurting at all. Like, his farm is fine. Especially since they also got their hands on that Aegis. They now have Blink available on Yoku. It's all going to be down to how the team fights roll out from here. Because just theoretically, if VP are playing on the defense, they have a ridiculously good team for it. They have Centaur ulti, they have Rubik with the Blink, they have Yule's Lina, they have Winter's Curse. They have so many good counter initiations. The Empire are going to have a very hard time finding a perfect opening if it were, right? Like, Yoku's going to need to hit a lot of heroes with an RP, and he's going to have to prioritize heroes like Rubik just so he doesn't have to worry about his abilities getting stolen. Because that's also going to be a big fear. So I feel like as good of a Magnus player as Yoku is, this is going to be such a hard game for him.
It's certainly going to be the difficulty amped up. And again, I mean, looking at the time as well, I can't quite believe we're 16.5 minutes in. and there's only been 2 kills. I mean, is this a VP versus Empire game?
I thought they would
what
be.
is going on?
I thought they would be a little bit more active, especially prior to
Dire's
the
top
Centaur hitting
tower
level
is under
6.
attack.
But now here come the mass smokes. Both teams have all their blinks available. All of their core items are pretty much online. And they have Aegis and Resolution. Like, either team is fully capable of taking a fight right now. The only thing for VP is Illidan doesn't have any mana, so... Oh, here we go.
Looking for the pick up one to always want to fly, but he's got the Shallow Grave off in time. He doesn't have a TP and Yoku coming in. Looking for a skewer, but he's not going to clip onto anyone. Lil with a stolen Shallow Grave, and now the Stampede as well. DK Phobos helping the team get out there from across the map with his ultimate. Again, no one to die yet.
Everything
Radiant
that Lil can
structures
steal in this game is good. Like, there really isn't a
Radiant's
bad
middle
spell.
tower is under
Like,
attack.
Tombstone is good, Soul Rip is good, even getting Undying Ultimate is good. Like, there's so many good things that you can have. RP, call down.
Which is kind of surprising as well, because the Rubik was picked up
Radiant's
early
middle
on in the
tower
draft.
has
It wasn't like it was
fallen.
a kind of a surprise last pick, but
It was, what, second or third,
I
right?
think it was even second. It was definitely early on. Maybe it was third. Maybe it was third. But
Yeah, I think it was
nonetheless,
third
it's a good
because
game.
I think they opened up with SF Lena or something, right? Or was it SF Rubik?
Oh,
well,
well, never.
never-
Well, Illidan. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are going to see a third kill on the board
Dire's
now for the
bottom
side of
tower is
VP.
under
Empire
attack.
still yet to
Dire's
break
structures
their
are
way
fortified.
onto that board in terms of kills. We're looking in terms of differences. A 4K lead at the moment for the side of VP. If anything, that kill there will maintain that lead. Illidan, of course, looking towards the Aghanims after the Yules,
Dire's
rather
bottom
than
tower
opting for
has
the Blink.
fallen.
Feels that obviously elsewhere in the team there's enough initiation. With Lil and Phobos, Illidan should always be able to find himself in a position to fight.
Yeah, I also talked earlier about how it's nice to have Lena with Aghanims against Gyro when you have other heroes on the team that can deal a
Radiant's
little bit of
top
physical
tower
damage,
is
because
under
the
attack.
burst will just annihilate a Gyrocopter. He's only got, what, 1,300 health right now? So if he has that Aghanims upgrade...
Oh, talking about the Gyrocopter, they're going to try and go straight in here on this one. Have they got the burst to deal with it? Silent getting over the RP from Yoku. They're going to be able to turn this one around. Lil's going to fall. Do you get Phobos just getting himself out the Stampede? Is it going to be enough to escape? As Silent claims himself a double kill. VP hungry for action, but Empire there to help Silent turn it around beautifully for the Dire.
So what we just saw there out of Yoku is pretty much what has to happen every single fight.
That
As
was the
soon
Yoku
as the
play.
Centaur ulti is popped, there needs to immediately be an RP on top of it, or they just need to be RP'd before the Centaur ulti at all, because that way you know that they're not going to gain benefit from the movement speed. So it's the same reason why you would hold on to a disable until somebody uses like Surge, and then you disable them after
Radiant
to make sure that the
structures are
movement speed
fortified.
isn't used because they're just, you know, they're stunned.
Dire's
So
bottom
that was
tower is
the
under
perfect
attack.
way to initiate it.
FNG's got the
good
curse. He's going to use on a lower dance, but the Shallow Grave coming out just in time. On the Yule Scepter, they really want to kill this Undying, and they should be able to. A couple of punches to the back with the Telekinesis as well to make sure they get a low hard dance. DK Phobos now trying to look for more, chasing down Always Want to Fly here on the Dazzle. At the same time, in the lane, Resolution heading south. Phobos, he's going to have a blinker in a few seconds. Always Want to Fly. Is he going to be able to do anything? Yeah, turns around, looking for it, trying to stop it.
He's
but
got
already
trapped.
He's in a lot of trouble as, yeah, the trap stolen by Rubik being used against TA's own team. Phobos blinks forward, a couple of hits, will get it now. Yoku with the skewer will be able to turn this one around. A Resolution meld hit to the face to find Phobos. And Silent wanting to go in for more now with the cooldown. It's going to clip onto both, and now straight onto G with a rocket barrage. G able to create the distance between him and himself, and now with the mech, maybe even wanting to turn this, looking for Resolution. The Telekinesis holding it, but Silence just continuing to chase this one down. Really wants to find Genie, might just be able to. Resolution blinking forward with one hit now onto FNG. Cold Embrace ain't going to help you against a barrage of rockets, my friend, and double kill for Resolution as he finishes off the Wyvern as well. 5 for 5 now. A game that was 3 for 0 for pretty much the first 19 minutes has now been equalized as Empire really turning up in full force. And well, the game continues.
Yeah, that was really big from Empire. Huge golden experience swing in their favor. VP just getting a little overconfident, chasing into a tier 2 like that. And, I mean, G walked in to try to save Phobos and, like, pop the mech, and then he just realized, oh, I'm actually horribly out of position. The other thing, too, is when they were chasing around into the woods and they started to realize, oh, we got to back off, they actually split all of their damage. So G was going for the gyro, and then Illidan was actually going
They've
to...
called out Always Want to Fly. No chance for a Shallow Grave today. As
Yeah,
they
rip.
nuke him down straight away. More money for Phobos.
That is actually a pretty interesting stat. At 20 minutes, this is the least amount of kills both teams have had.
It doesn't surprise
in
me.
this patch.
It doesn't surprise. I mean,
in this whole patch.
I guess at the end of the day, you know, as kind of crazy as the CIS teams are, when it comes down to a game with this much importance, they say, "Okay, gentlemen, we need to calm it down here.
Rein it in a bit.
Rein it in a bit. Let's turn up the sensibility, not go too ham, and play a little bit safer," which is certainly what both teams are doing so far, being very, very careful and very, very calculated about the fights and engagements that they take. Now, Yoku and Resolution going to be looking for Roshan here. Worth noting that Resolution, closing in on the BKB, has the Ogre Club 50 gold short of the Mithril Hammer. So almost certainly at the pace that this game is going, by the time we have the next fight, TA's going to have a BKB.
How did VP not... like? Okay, so if you're going to let somebody get Roshan for free, at the very least you should try to pressure a tower. But for now, if VP weren't really counter-pressuring a lane hard enough, but they're going to try to go on always want to fly here middle.
And with the Stampede, again, taking him down before any chance of the shallow grow. I kind of feel that Phobos has found who to pick on. He's found someone that he can kill every time with the help of a quick telekinesis from Lil. And 23 minutes in. Top lane now being packed in by the side of Virtus Pro, looking for potentially this tier 2. Reaction from Empire just to be able to TP out to this mid lane. Continue the farm on Resolution, just 200 gold away from that BKB recipe. There's now a Bloodstone, of course, on Lina, on Illidan. And Silent, how's he doing? Well, his BKB just about 1200 away from his Mithril Hammer. And he'll be able to look to just push this one out and farm it. FNG TPs himself out. I won't be surprised if we see both Illidan and Lil also back themselves away from this half of the map as Empire are on the move.
Empire definitely want to at least take this tier 1. Like, even if they don't get a full-fledged team fight, I think they'll be okay with that. If they don't get any contention here, they might just try to pressure the tier 2 a bit, maybe force a reaction out of Virtus Pro. But for the time being, Empire definitely with the advantage. They've gotten 2 Roshans in a row. VP didn't contest either one. First one, I definitely understand. Like, they probably just didn't think about it, or they weren't expecting it to be done so early. But this one, it was kind of obvious. I'm surprised that VP didn't even try to stop them. But of course now, Empire are going to have the control for the next couple of minutes while that Aegis still is going to be up on Resolution. Just waiting it out. I'm really still thinking that Yoku's going to have a really hard time in these fights. Like, he's going to make BKB, which I think is one of the only items he could possibly make in a situation. Because that way, if you do actually RP the Rubik, the only other counterplay they can have to that is you get Winter's Cursed. And if you get cursed, it's like whatever, you know? Like, if you Winter's Curse on Magnus, I feel like it's almost a waste. You want to put it on somebody that either does damage, or you want to put it on somebody to kill. And that way you want to use somebody that's not mag, because he'll most likely be in the front of the fight anyway. So I like the BKB choice. FNG kind of scouting out Resolution here. Just going to be forced to TP out. Only able to do a little bit of damage. But things are super calm. Like,
incredibly.
Neither team really wants to give away too much.
Even more calm than in the second game, I kind of feel at this point. Straight in onto Always Want to Fly, but this side Always Want to Fly says, well, you've done this before. This time I'll get the Shallow Grave off. They're not going to be able to have... Oh, yeah, the creep actually does it there.
Yep.
Oh, it was the catapult. Good old Carty finding them the kill here for VP. Silent moving forward here with the Empower boost to his damage. Trying to catch out Phobos. Phobos has got the blink in a few seconds. It isn't going to happen now. Empire, they've caught him out. Should be able to find the Centaur here. Buys himself some time with a soul rip there from a low hard dance. Finishing off Phobos. At the same time though, Illidan using some pressure here on this top lane. There's going to be a TP back from Silent. And he'll be able to clear that one back. FNG and G are in the neighborhood, and FNG with that Winter's Curse available if they wanted to try and go for something. But G just going to continue farming at the moment. What's he got coming out in the courier? It's just a TP scroll. He's got 2k in the bank now.
He's going Scotty.
Ah, yeah, he's got the first ultimate ult break.
Yeah, Scotty is really good against TA and Gyro, because both of those heroes, it sounds funny, but you can actually kite them.
Top tower is under attack.
Lil blinking out just in time as the meld hit was
Dude, he's got Shallow Grave. He's fine.
A little bit of a boss here with these reactions. FNG just coming to help him with this defense. They're going to TP back Illidan here as well, just in case anything kicks off on the side of Empire. But if this game's pace is anything to read from, Empire aren't going to want to fight. They're going to back off. Silent having a bit of a 1v1 there with Illidan. Did throw out the Laguna Blade, but at this point, not quite enough to deal with Silent, who's looking pretty damn tanky with the SMY and, of course, the BKB.
I think the biggest problem right now is actually G, because he's going to be at Scotty pretty soon. And it's only 26 minutes in, so he's got SOI, Mech, Aquila treads, almost Scotty. The gyrocopter doesn't really do enough damage yet, I feel, to really contest that level of farm. So even with the help of the Aegis, it's going to be down soon, probably like a minute or so, maybe a little bit less. But when that happens, I still feel like VP in a 5 versus 5, they should be able to fare pretty well. They're just playing very passively because they realize that, of course, fighting into an Aegis is silly, especially when you're not fighting over something important like tower, for example. But at the very least, they should take solace in the fact that their core heroes are still getting a lot.
I mean, Gyrocopter now has spent his money on an ultimate orb. I mean, are we looking at what are we looking here for Silent with that pickup? What's he going to be building into this with this one? Would you imagine? Is he going to go for the Scotty himself
I don't know if it's going to be Scotty.
to try and man fight up against the SF? I mean,
Does he? I mean, Scotty is actually something that we've seen before. I think it was Fear who made Scotty on Gyrocopter, right? It was the EG game. I'm almost certain that actually it was. And sometimes it can be very good because you want to be that frontline type of hero. And I don't think that anyone else really can do that job like a Gyrocopter can for this team. But if you were going to build that item, why not just make Satanic? You know, that's my thought process is if you want to be tanky, you should just make Satanic. Because you already have BKB. And it's a 10-second BKB. So the likelihood that you're going to get like interrupted the entire duration of your BKB is pretty darn low. I think it might... I don't want to say Linken's because the only thing that you really want to block is Curse. Like, yeah, getting like rooted.
Yeah, I guess there's not enough burst.
But he doesn't have Aghanims, so it's like...
It's going to be close.
It doesn't even matter.
He's starting to build it now with the point booster. Oh, I mean, again, we fought that with the Bloodstone. I mean, do you feel this is going to be the Aghanims, or is it just going to be an Octarine coming out from nowhere?
It could be Octarine, but I think Aghanims is like way too good to pass up in this game. Like, just being able to deal that guaranteed damage through BKB. A Laguna takes half of Silent's health, and he doesn't have Satanic. So he doesn't have a way of just bringing his health back up to full after that burst damage, so it pretty much puts him on the defensive immediately. But again, we don't know what the ultimate orb is going to be yet, so it's hard to say.
Tower is under attack.
Interesting enough, looking at that graph, I mean, it was only ever a small lead for VP4K, but this passive farming stage has certainly benefited Empire as they bring it back down to 0. And we're kind of sitting here at this moment where both teams are very, very close to each other. Lil and ZK Phobos now have smoked up.
It is Scotty, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, he bought an Orb of Venom, so it's definitely Scotty.
G, he's found Silent, or Silent found G. Low Heart Dance, he's going to just drop the Tombstone and run. It's, I mean, this Tombstone is pretty much a testament to how the game's been. It's been, no, I mean, this is not going to achieve anything. It's thrown down just in case anything was going to kick off, but we're 29 minutes in, it's 8-6, nothing's going to kick off.
It's the precaution Tombstone.
It is, absolutely. But neither team's with an intention to fight here. Illidan, he's certainly putting his neck out here on the top lane. Pushing fairly far. And I mean, look at the amount of dewarding the side of Empire have done in their jungle to ensure that they can look for things like this, closing this gap. And Illidan was like, what? I didn't see you guys. Look at the TP for the skewers there. Illidan straight away with the Bloodstone denied. He says,
that was his only play.
We done good. He was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
He's 100% dead there.
Dire's middle tower
So they didn't give away any
attack.
gold, that's good. That Yoku, in the meantime, he's actually very close to BKB though. Aloha Dance.
Oh, they're going to catch him out. Silent moving forward, trying to help them out the Stampede. The pretty much press R to escape.
Press R to get the hell out. That's more or less what we just saw there.
Most of the time, it works every time this time. Working out for VP. But yeah, the map control that Empire have got over their own jungle is quite something. The only war that they've managed to sneak through VP is this one here towards the middle of where the tier 1 was and the tier 2. And map control all around for Empire is very nice. If you look over the Radiant jungle as well, Empire have got pretty much tabs on whatever the heck VP are doing.
VP are actually like almost playing blind. They have one ward, and that's in the enemy jungle right now. So yeah, Empire with the vision advantage for sure. They're not really able to take too much of advantage of it. It's just like, okay, we're going to farm the enemy woods for a bit, kill a camp or two. It's pretty much what Resolution has decided. But what's going to probably end up happening is next Roshan will spawn. VP will likely contest, because giving away a third Rosh for free just... Like with their team, I actually figured on paper their team fight was a lot easier to execute. But they've just avoided every single like large confrontation for the last like 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. So I would be really surprised if they actually just let Empire kill Roshan a third time.
Deep in the jungle at the moment, Silent.
Is under attack.
And always want to fly. Moving forward, cooldown's going to get dropped. And actually, they need to be careful because G and Phobos with the wraparound, but it has been spotted out by the ward. They know that G and Phobos are here. Silent.
Nice TP.
Looking to sneak himself out. Yeah, always want to fly is going to be able to escape. And Silent should be safe as well. Yeah, able to go in the opposite direction of the movement of VP. He's going to be able to get back to his buddies. Okay, joining up with Resolution. He's now got a Crystal, 1600 gold on top of that towards the Daedalus. And Joku, how's he doing? Well, BKB is finished. 500 gold as well. And as you said, Roshan is going to be the point where we potentially might actually see a fight, Andy.
I actually think that VP would have to fight this. I don't think you can give away another Rosh. Like, FNG is not there and he doesn't have a TP. They're actually going to give away a third Roshan. I don't know. Is there a point where you can be too passive?
I mean, this is the definition of passive, this game. It's... I don't know what they've done with Empire.
I don't understand
VP,
how this is a good idea.
I hope we get him back as the game.
Like, is the team fight aspect so scary that it's worth giving away Cheese Rosh? Like, that's Roshan number 3. 0 contention. They have to know that they're going for that Rosh.
Well, maybe they just didn't. Maybe.
No, they definitely knew. They absolutely knew.
They did. They knew. They just didn't want to do anything about it.
You don't make it to TI without knowing if a team is doing Roshan or not and not having the timer. I mean, it was a pretty quick spawn, I think. But either way, like, now it's, if we fight into them and we lose because of Aegis, then we should have just fought Rosh.
Oh.
The thing is about their team, too, is it's so good around the Roshan pit. Like, Requiem pretty much hits everything. Winter's Curse is good because there's a lot of enclosed spaces. You have really good defensive heroes who can sit in the back. It's probably very easy for Lil to steal RP because he can just sit on high ground. Like, there's so many advantages, I feel, around fighting in the pit for that team. Like, sure, Empire have Tombstone and RP and Calldown are kind of scary, but as long as you space yourself properly, it shouldn't be that bad. But VP, they are going to opt out of the battle mode. They're
Were they ever in the battle mode?
No, they actually weren't. They turned that mode off before the series started.
Not today, not for the series. Well, the first game was pretty action-packed. I mean, it was kind of one-sided action.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It was the kind of the predictable farm game. Third game going into this from the draft, we were like, right, let's get our teeth stuck in. But Empire VP proving that this is still a game where they want to play passively. Empire now starting to make kind of baby steps towards the base, but no, they go away. They don't want to. They've had enough.
Tower is under
it's too scary. Not time to fight yet. They don't want to try it. Not with the Aegis and Cheese. They want to farm more. And who can blame them? It's been working out for them so far. You know, they have managed to bring it back down. Even and now, at the rate they're farming, it is better than VP's. We are starting to see it steep off. So back to farming. What we got?
That was almost a very dead Illidan for the second time. He barely avoided getting RP'd. Like, he threw out a Eul's and then teleported away. Pretty much what we saw him try to do top last time, and then he ended up getting caught. But
under attack.
Important item progression to keep in mind is G is getting very close to his butterfly. There is no MKB at all on Empire. I think maybe Silent goes for it, or maybe he goes butterfly himself if he just wants to be, like, ultra tanky. I'm wondering if... Like, Winter Wyvern is a very good scaling support, so I'm wondering if there's ever a critical mass point for Empire where the TA with the Magnus and the Gyro just become a little bit too much to deal with? Or does the fact that they have that core Lina, Shadow Fiend, and Winter Wyvern, who's actually insane in late game and being able to deal damage through Curse, is that enough to offset the scariness of like a 6-slotted Gyro and a TA? I guess it depends. Again, it's all about how the fights go. Like,
it is.
That's where it's going to happen.
Yeah, whoever gets the jump, it really depends on Yoku, how the reaction to Yoku comes out for the side of VP. And, well, VP are going to need a reaction now. Empire, they're knocking on the door. You'll set the one up onto Silent. He's going to be fine. The stun actually wasn't time to catch him out there. Resolution has got the Aegis here being brought very, very low. Shadow Grave there as well, so Resolution won't have to worry about losing the Aegis quite yet.
They got the tower,
take
though.
the tier 3.
Yeah. Getting the tower is good. I don't know if they're comfortable with the fact that he's so low right now, though. They're just going to keep healing him up with Soul Rip and Shadow Wave, and then potentially look to go back in. They're going to have a better chance of taking the racks because they can spread out now. Like, with the tier 3 being dead, you can kind of concave around the barracks, so you don't have to put yourself in this really tight space.
And there we go. A little bit of a deja vu here. Silent getting caught up by the live tracker Ray. Phobos going in as well. Chase sending him up, but the shallow grave is there, buying in time. G trying to fire up on the front lines, but the damage from Resolution is just too damn much. He's got a Daedalus. He's got, of course, the Desolator and the Empower from Yoku. And with that, they will be able to get themselves the range Rex. Phobos going forward with the BKB pop by Silent. They're looking to turn. Resolution jumping straight in with the damage on the Phobos. Too much.
No buyback.
The Centaur Warren, and that's going to be Phobos down for a full minute. Resolution getting forced back here as G pops the ultimate here. Resolution's got the Aegis ready for round 2. And it is indeed, as you said, Phobos down for 50 seconds. No buyback available. Resolution getting caught up by the Light Strike Array. Silent just trying to man fight up against G. So far, it's going a lot better for the side of Empire here. Moving in onto the Shadow Fiend. Resolution blinking forward. Can't quite kill him. The Shockwave, no, it's going to miss. G will be able to get himself right now. The Winter's Curse onto Silent. Didn't catch out Resolution, though. That's the damage they need. Joku there with the RP onto Lina. Will bring him down. Buyback from Lina. Will force Empire back out of the base, but Empire taking quite a bit there from the side of VP. They take the racks, and they do get themselves 2 kills, as well as forcing out a buyback from Lina.
Phobos just a little bit too ham. Like, blinking forward like that when he doesn't have his ulti up? Like, that was really weird. I thought at first, like, I thought I heard Stampede, and then I definitely saw him blink in, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did he actually ulti when he was blinking in, or was it after the fact? And unfortunately for him, he didn't have an escape avenue, so maybe he got a little bit excited because the rest of Empire were retreating, and he figured that he could go for the kill since Silent had already used cheese. But unfortunately, BKB kind of just turned it for him, and we're going to have a very anticlimactic pause here.
It's FNG. He's a nice guy. He's a
No, I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying.
No, not at all.
It's kind of immersion breaking when you have a pause in high stress situations.
This is incredibly tense. It's especially when you have 38 minutes of build up. This is what this game has been so far. We saw that was pretty much the epitome of the action so far. That top lane, the fact that they take the racks, and VP, they obviously, you know, the Jimmies have been rustled. They're looking to do something in return. They're pushing down the mid lane.
They need somebody to actually like frontline and take some damage. Like, okay, say for instance, they have G stand in front. He had buyback for that fight. Everyone pretty much had buyback for the fight except for, I think, Phobos it was, and the Rubik. But he was like 100 gold short. If they take the fight like that, and they have them kind of group up around G, you can look to get a really good counter initiation with Curse and such. But instead, they just kind of watch their barracks die. Like, I think if you have buyback, and enemy team is pushing you in like that, you've already consumed cheese. I think it's actually worth trying to fight them off.
One of the things that's interesting, I kind of feel it's a very big risk. G has gone all in for the butterfly, but so he hasn't got anywhere near buyback. At the same time, Silent though has finished off his MKB.
Yeah, the item progression from the gyrocopter is actually perfect. Like, the items that he made this game, he knew that there was going to be an Aghanims coming up on Lina, so he wanted to have the raw health from the Scotty to make sure that the burst didn't just straight up kill him. Like, he's got almost 3,000 HP. Now he can go back for Satanic, and that way the Lina burst will never really be a worry for him. And the other thing too is he doesn't have to buy stuff like mech. So normally when you have the Shadow Fiend who goes mech, teams have a tendency to like try to 5-man around him, use him as like that kind of siege hero, like we see DK so often played as. The difference is though, the Shadow Fiend having to make mech means that his carry potential is going to be hindered by the fact that he had to spend the money on that item. And to be honest, the mech, they didn't really do anything with it, right? Like, they just bought a mech and then they kept farming. So the mech didn't really come into play ever. It was just, I bought a mech just in case, which is obviously a very warranted thing to do. Like, you would buy the mech assuming that a team with Undying and TA and Gyro and Mag would fight you, but Empire just never did. So now it's like, our Gyro has really good item progression, and all of his items are dedicated towards carrying, whereas our Shadow Fiend has an inventory slot taken up by like a mech.
Well, down the mid lane again, here we go. Versus Pro, they're going to try it again. They did manage to get the push all the way over to the base of Empire, but they weren't just quite able to have that power, have that strength and confidence to go that little bit further. Going to smoke up now here as well. And the ward here, it might have actually clipped it on the side. I mean, nonetheless, Empire, they're in their base. They know that something's going on.
They only have one buyback. Only one person on Empire can buy back, and that's the TA. Everyone else cannot buy back.
VP, they're smoked up. They started to make the walk over there, but they're deciding, well, hang on a little bit more, actually. I didn't really want to fight. They're going to go back to...
Well, when you have no buybacks and the enemy team is right outside of your base, You do not like.
It's a big risk to take.
The smoke is okay, because the smoke is actually something that could catch them off guard, and the rest of VP are actually retreating. But if you take a fight outside your base, and you got no buybacks, that's super risky.
Lil, he's going to be able to see this one. Blinks himself away. Silent moving in on Tillard, and the cooldown's going to get dropped by the Stampede from Fabio getting them out. In fact, G wants to go in with a Laguna Blade as well, bringing Silent. He's put the BKB. Shallow as well. He's going to be able to get a fair bit of damage out with the Winter's Curse on Silent controlling him. G gets off the rip him, but G's going to drop. That's the first casualty of this fight. Silent going to live, but he's going to live with the soul rip there from Aloha does. Phobos is going to drop as well. This is a massive fight for Empire. Looking for the RP, won't quite be able to catch the Wyvern. They're chasing down into the node with the zombies as well. There's even a TP coming in just to finish it off. It's not needed in the end, as Illidan drops as well on the Lina. And Empire with a fantastic fight there. 4 heroes and on VP, 1 on the side of Empire. And I've got to say, even with the spells, the Winter's Curse came out, but it was onto, I think it was onto Silent, he had the BKB pot and the damage. The rest of his team just did nothing to him. He was able to live through it, and all the heals from Aloha Dance and team working in perfect tandem. They're going to have a chance of breaking the burst here, because both Illidan and G are down for 40 seconds, and as you said, without any buyback available here.
Oh, this is bad news.
Naked fished out an FNG as well in from the sideline. Silent moving in with the Rocket Barrage. He's got a cold embrace, but I don't know if he lives this one. Silent just goes in for a round 2. That is Silent now. Dominating streak. 14 kills against the 9, 42 minutes in. Empire certainly at the point of this game where they might have just won it here. Looking towards the mid, this could be them winning the tiebreaker, securing themselves $150,000 and well, the final little huzzah coming out from VP. They're desperately trying to save this. It's not quite Mega. Oh, it is. It is Mega Creeps. Virtus.pro have been Mega Creep by the side of Empire, and Empire will back up. And I think they say to each other, that's a job well done, boys.
And now all they have to do is kind of back off, wait for the creeps to push in, just slowly smother VP out of the game. I'm not entirely sure, but
GG.
I think... Yeah, okay.
Just
Good game, well played, yeah.
They're going to tap out.
I mean, they're Megan. I wouldn't blame them for continuing to play. Like, I would be like perfectly fine with that, because there's a lot on the line, right? Like, you want to try to do everything you can to win. But sometimes it's too hard. Like, that last team fight, I want to say that Yules might have actually saved Silent, because when the curse came out, the Yules actually stopped them from hitting him. Like, there was one other hero who got thrown up in the air, and I think it might have been Resolution. I'm not 100% sure. But if Silent dies in that curse, I think the team fight might have actually favored